Hey guys, welcome into this edition of Culinary Clice. Today you'll get my spin on the Tennessee cheesesteak. So I was just thinking, what could I cook? I had bought some New York strips from Murphy's because they were on sale, so that's the meat I'm using. Use whatever you want. That's not really that important. But I went to the Google and typed in Tennessee cheesesteak just to see if it existed. So it brings up a bunch of Philly cheesesteak recipes, but then I found one that said Tennessee cheesesteak. So I click on it. This guy's, in a kitchen, professional, somewhat professional, trying to give his spin on Tennessee cheesecake. But here's the catch. He's from New York. He don't know nothing. And I know what you're thinking. Culinary? I think I've heard that before. And you have. And I'll show you right here. So sit back and relax, enjoy. I've already recorded it, about to edit it, and I hope you enjoy. Till next time. Okay, guys, so here I am about to make quick pickled coleslaw. And right here I'm adding in rice vinegar. I end up pouring in the whole thing. It was like a 12-ounce thing. The recipe I was going by, which I didn't really go by, calls for a half a cup of rice vinegar, half a cup of water, a tablespoon of sugar, a tablespoon of mustard seed, and one and a half teaspoons of salt. Well, what I did, I probably used at least a cup of rice vinegar. I did not put water in it, but don't worry, it turned out fine. Here's me adding the mustard seed. I got a tablespoon here. I'm just trying to guess. I didn't do a full tablespoon or anything, 2 tablespoons or whatever. I'm just guessing. But it turned out great. And instead of sugar, I am using monk fruit, which is a keto alternative. But if you wanted to use real sugar, use real sugar. So what you're doing, you set your eye on your stove on high, and you want to mix all these in and stir it. Not all the time. I didn't stir it that much, but you want to stir it all the time. Not all the time. You just want to stir it. But once it gets to a boil, you want to continue to stir it for about a minute. What you're trying to do is get the sugar to evaporate or whatever it does. And then in that gray bowl there, I have, it calls for 3 cups of purple cabbage, a cup of, I think they called it matchstick carrots. I just bought sliced carrots. And it calls for 3 radishes. I went to the store today and didn't find any radishes. And there's my sidekick, Kaylee. And I think the dog was in there too. But yeah, you can see it's probably about there boiling now. You'll end up pouring it into the bowl. And then once you pour it into the bowl, you want to chill it. The recipe says for 12 minutes, but you can keep that from 2 weeks to 2 months in the fridge if you want to. Once you stir it into the stuff pretty good as well. But once you get ready to use it, you drain all the excess liquid out to use. All right, now I am about to make a hoe cake batter, and I chose to use hoe cake as it is a southern Tennessee food, and all it is fried cornbread. And cornbread comes from Native Americans. And hoe cake is named after what it was cooked on. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but it had hoe in the name of it. But what I have here is a buttermilk cornmeal mix, self-rising, and I'm adding milk to it to turn it into the batter. And there's no set recipe. You just got to get a feel, mix it in to get it to where it's thick enough to cook, but not too thick. And if you get it too thin, it won't cook correctly. But that's what I'm using as the breading, and I'll come back with the cooking product. Okay, guys, welcome back. Here I am. I've got, if you can see, that was my first hoe cake I made, and it's a little charred. I think I ate it anyway, but I lowered the temperature. I'm using vegetable oil in a cast iron pan. There I am adding in some diced onions. And what I've used, I didn't use bell pepper because I didn't have any. But first I'm cooking the onions down. I've also got some Gouda, and I believe it was smoked Gouda mac and cheese cooking, and it was just store-bought. One day I probably will make a mac and cheese thing where I use real cheese and all that. But I end up using, like I said earlier, New York strip, that steak, and I was out of cabinet space, so put the hoe cake on the floor. But here I go to make another one. I ended up using some canned jalapenos, and I believe I forgot to mention this. I actually ended up adding cayenne pepper to my hoe cake mix, and that made it a lot hotter than what I thought it would. My wife wasn't very impressed with it, but I did that to do a shout out to the Nashville hot chicken. But I use whatever you want as the toppings. This is just my version. Here I am about to add the meat, the cut ups, New York strips. I also, let me see if I added here. I included bacon because everything's so much better with bacon. I used jarred jalapeno peppers and banana peppers. And what I do with the hoe cake, once I flip it, let me see, and now I'm stirring about to stir the mac and cheese. But when I flip it, I added some extra sharp shredded cheddar cheese to put on the hoe cake, just to add more cheese. I don't believe I added anything else. I'm trying to think. Here I am adding the cheese right here. But that's basically it. It turned out great. It was pretty sloppy, and I got the pictures at the beginning of this video. I topped it with that quick pickled coleslaw. That's very good on its own. But that's basically it. I hope you enjoy. I'm no culinary expert, but I can cook sometimes. Until next time.